Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. I was going to do a tour again.
That would have been 3 times in one day, but I would fall for it probably.
And so today we have been nonstop video making. We've had some people we're working on, but we've been doing nonstop videos because we're going to be on the road for like 5 days upcoming. So, we're like basically putting them and scheduling them ahead. And talking about things that I love to talk about, honestly. Like I told Cindy after we did two videos that were somewhat biblical, I could just do nothing but videos on both biblical stuff and energy stuff, like just constant. There's so much to talk about. But, of course, there's many other things that are going on as well. So you're looking at Reiki therapy. And what is Reiki used for? And most people know Reiki probably more than any other form of energy healing. It can be used for a ton of things: deep relaxation, clarity of mind, emotional healing, spiritual development, pain relief. Honestly, a good session is, I think, even better than a good massage.
Oh yeah.
And I'm both a Reiki master teacher, and I've been a licensed massage therapist. I've practiced Qigong for, 35 years, somewhere around there. Also, pranic healing, quantum touch, studied polarity therapy. I practice cranial sacral therapy, which has been invaluable too. All these different modalities and more that I probably can't even remember. And most people are familiar with Reiki. Really, it's all about using the life force. It's all about conscious control and manipulation of the life force.
It is, and it's something that everybody can learn. Anybody can learn it, and it's just how do you get to the point where you're really pushing that energy and you're really making changes in somebody's energy field.
Exactly. And so anybody can learn this, but not anybody is going to be at the same level. That's the big difference. You can learn it. You can get certified. Some people are going to honestly have a natural knack for it more than others. It also really depends on how we've been treating ourselves. If we've been, taking in simple sugars, drinking soda pop, fluoridated water, using fluoridated toothpaste still, you're going to have a harder time sensing the life force. I find one of the most invaluable things is the mantras. The mantras keep your chakras healthy. The vibrations keep your chakras open, your life force flowing. So Reiki also utilizes some certain symbols to basically connect again to a different current of energy, as we've talked about. So, as we've said many times, even if there never was a Jesus Yeshua, if you use the name of Jesus Yeshua, because billions of people have, there's a current of energy there. There's power there to tap into. And Reiki uses certain symbols, like Shoku-rei, which is the power symbol. And when you say it and you make the symbol, you're tapping into the current that thousands of other people, maybe even millions of people by now, have tapped into. And so that amplifies things.
Mm-hmm. It does. So, you're just, like Mike said, tapping into, like, I don't know, you could look at it like plugging into a router to get information.
And, it's interesting, too, because there are people of that lineage that you might not be necessarily tied to, but when you study it and you have the energy sent over to you, then you're tied to the people of the lineage. So then you might get guides that come and show up that are former Reiki masters on the other side, and they will aid you as well.
They absolutely will. That's really important to know, that they're here to help you and assist you and tell you certain things that what somebody might need.
Most definitely. Yeah. So for today only, I will not feel anger. I will not worry. I will do my work, my meditation with appreciation, and extend a kindness to all people. And that's Dr. Usui, who is the founder of Usui Reiki. And really a beautiful individual, a great man that helped so many people heal in very, very traumatic times. So how about Yeshua? How about Yeshua and Reiki? Yeshua certainly did miracles.
Oh my gosh, boy, could he push energy? You bet.
And again, it's, what do I do? Do I do Reiki? Well, I use some aspects of it. Do I do pranic healing? Yeah, there's some parts of pranic healing I like too. How about Qigong, medical Qigong? Yeah, it's like kind of my own system now, because I've done this for so many years. And I think that's where we're heading into. I think we're going to be moving into an intuitive time with perhaps less structure. And really, it's all about finding our own system, our own way in doing things. Like when I was working on people in person, I would first run energy in them to get them to relax. Once they were relaxed, I would comb through the energy to get rid of anything stale or stagnant. And then I would go do craniosacral therapy so that the cerebral spinal fluid was smooth and running evenly. And then I would go through and charge the chakras, work on the meridians and the major organs. And you have a big questioning look on your face, or is it something coming in?
Something else.
Oh, okay. So this is like when the Draco reptilians start to attack because they don't want people knowing the type of healing that can be done through energy work, and not just Reiki. Again, those are, particular systems, particular terms. I think we're going to be moving into a time that's going to be intuitive. That's going to be non-dogmatic. So the similarities, the healings of Yeshua and Reiki. You see John 14:12. I tell you the truth, anyone who has faith in me can do the same miracles I have done. And even greater things than these will you do. And so this is from the International Center for Reiki Training. And, that's so true. What a statement there. What a statement there. That says an awful lot, because if he was the only one that had those powers, why would he say that we could do greater? And anybody could do it. He said it so clearly. Anybody can do this. Anybody can do the miracles that I do. Anybody. How could that be possible if he was the only Son of God? Because Source, Prime Creator, God with the big G, is in you and I and all of us.
Yeah, it's in every one of us. And I think we're getting to a point where if we just make any kind of contact with somebody, whether it be phone, in person, whatever, people can exchange energies that help heal one another.
And this article is by William Lee Rand, well known in Reiki circles. One of the outstanding aspects of Yeshua's life was the miracles he worked according to the Bible. He walked on water, fed 5,000 people with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes, changed water to wine, raised people from the dead. However, the most meaningful of his miracles were the healings he performed. The healings included paralysis, lameness, fever, catalepsy, hemorrhage, skin disease, mental disorders, spirit possession, deafness, and blindness. Many of these healings were accomplished by the laying on of hands. This is indicated frequently in the New Testament. Luke 4:40 states, when the sun was setting, the people brought to Jesus all who had various kinds of sicknesses, and laying his hands on each one, he healed them. And yet, here you see, if you just type in Jesus and Reiki into Google, you're going to find a whole people talking about the evils of Reiki. Stay away from that. It's horrible New Age stuff. It's all demonic. Well, that's what the powers that be want you to think. That's what the reptilians want you to think. That's what the Draco wants you to think. Because they want you hooked on to BIGPHARMA.
Absolutely. They want you, that's their bread and butter. That's how everything flows to them. So they wouldn't want people to find out that they could heal themselves.
Yes, and because that opens portals. What opens portals, what opens you up to DEMONIC, possession, is, and often it's what is perfectly fine to be prescribed and perfectly acceptable. Well, why is it acceptable? Because it makes you a nice little host in many cases for these dark energies. Not this is actually benevolent over here. In Matthew 8:14 and 15, Jesus uses touch to heal Peter's mother-in-law of a fever. Mark 1:40-42, Jesus uses his hands to heal a man with leprosy. It's also mentioned in Luke 5:12 and 13. Matthew 20:29-34 describes how Jesus healed 2 blind men by touching their eyes, and in Mark 8:22-25, Jesus uses his hands to heal another blind man. In Mark 7:32-35, he uses touch to heal a man who is deaf and can't speak. In Luke 7:12-15, Jesus raises a dead man by touching his coffin. And in Luke 8:49-55, he uses touch to return a dead girl to life. There are many similarities between the laying on of hands that Jesus did in the practice of Reiki, and I would add Pranic healing and Qigong as well. One important similarity is the fact that he could pass the power to heal on to others, which is similar to the Reiki attunement process. And, honestly, you don't even need Reiki attunements. Simply when another yogi touches another person and sends the energy in, the same thing happens. So, it's not necessarily the case where you have to go through the Reiki attunements. Just simply like if Cindy and I work on you, that increases your ability. It's just that simple. One of my first students couldn't even sense the energy, which most people sense the energy now. The vast majority of people, in the high 90s can sense the energy. If they can't, usually it's diet related, fluoridated toothpaste, fluoridated water, like we were saying, too much exposure to certain frequencies, those type of things will lower the ability. But you can get it. You can get the ability. As I was saying, that one student, at first she couldn't feel it, but eventually I taught her Qigong. She came to my Qigong classes twice a week, and then Reiki classes as well. And now she's a Reiki master herself, and she has a big following, and she does amazing. And she didn't start learning until she was like in her 60s. So that's another thing. It's never too late. She was in her 60s when she started. So most definitely that healing power can be passed on to others. So in Luke 9:1-2, Jesus gave his 12 disciples the power to drive out all sorts of demons and to cure diseases. We do not know what process he gave the healing powers to his disciples, but the fact that he was able to pass it on to them indicates another important similarity with Reiki or the other, types of healing practices as well. Faith is important because constantly he was saying, it is your faith that healed you. He never really said, I healed you. He never took credit for that. He never asked people to get on your knees and worship me now. He wasn't like that at all.
Right. He was very humble, very humble.
Very humble being, all about helping others, and it really is about faith. And so if the fact that we put a symbol into the chakras in the attunement process, visualize that we're sending the energy and that symbol into the chakras, and you have faith in that because thousands or millions of others before you had faith in it. That just amplifies it. But the thing I will say about the power coming to the disciples, look to Pentecost. What happened? The Holy Spirit came in. And what happened? They had little flames up in their crown chakras. Their crown chakras were open. Their chakras are open. See, when we work on people, we open up the chakras, the life force flows. And then there you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite amazing to see how much better people feel from the time when we first get them on the phone until the process is over. They feel like a new person.
Yeah, exactly. So I definitely wanted to share that with you guys because it's an amazing thing. In fact, as we've shared with you, we have an angel that comes and visits us all on a regular basis. And because Cindy and I are usually very, very powerful energy generators, the angel will take some of the energy. He'll work on us when needed, but also take some of the energy to help others.
Mm-hmm. Right. He will use it to help others. He also uses it to patch holes. Like there's holes in our dimensions from all of the weapons testing that's been done.
NUKE.
Yes, I'm just scared to say it. He uses our energy to help bond those dimensions where they need to be again.
Yes. And we've also been blessed with Yeshua coming and working on us and helping us as well. And so he will send energy very much like what you're seeing here depicted from the angel. And in fact, there's angelic beings that are always sending energy down to earth, trying to, help us, to raise us up.
Absolutely. All we have to do is be open to it.
Yes, and that's about vibration. That is totally about vibration. And I'll share with you guys a very personal thing. There was a very stressful day that I had, and so I was off. I was off my vibrational frequency, and the angel came, but he couldn't use my energy to help patch the the holes, the dimensional holes, because my frequency was off, because I had a really off day, which was not typical of me. I'm usually able to, you might get mildly irritated with this or that. You have little things that happen, cracked windshields, flat tires, you name it. Things can happen that can set you off. That's no big deal. You bounce right back. But if you're really, really off, then it blocks the effectiveness of the benevolent beings from working on you. And we did a video, which should be coming out right before this one. And it's talking about the whole ascension process. It's imperative that we keep our vibes high. You might have a few moments where you're off, bring it back. Maintain control of your emotions. Keep your vibes high.
Yes, that's something easier said than done, but it's something we can all work toward.
We can, and we don't do this enough, but please do check out Evolutionary Energy Arts. This is our website, and you could see what some people, have actually found with the energy work. And actually, I got to try to do an update on it. It might not be for a couple weeks, though, because we've been crazy busy, and we're traveling like crazy, and we have a lot more traveling ahead of us. But please do check it out again, evolutionaryenergyarts.com. Thanks for being part of the family, guys. Make sure you're subscribed with the bell clicked. Thanks for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. As always, God bless and namaste.
God bless and namaste.